Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the RATLIFF Mandolins weekly production diary. And I'm going to tell you all about the things that got done this week at the shop. And basically we got about three major things to talk about. Number one is the mandolin shaped Mandicello. We got the binding all put on this week and cleaned up, and it's ready to move on to the next phase of construction. I've got it laying here with the other guitar-shaped Mandicello, and as you can see, both bodies have been assembled, and the backs are there still in the square, and the necks are there still in the roughest of roughed out shapes, and that's where both of the Mandicellos in this batch are at. The next big thing that we got taken care of was the number 5 Leopard wood mandolin. It needed to have its back glued on, and so I cleaned it up and got it all ready to go, and as you can see, glued it on. Here it is coming out of the prop bar deck. The next job to be done on this mandolin is to have the excess overhang trimmed off. And after that, really, we're just going to reattach the tag and put it in the box with the rest of the mandolins in this batch. There are 8 in that box, and with the 2 Mandicellos, that gives us 10 for the batch. And all of those mandolins are now in the gluing on the fretboard bottleneck, I like to call it. They need to be cleaned up and have the truss rods installed and the fretboard extenders, and then have the fretboard glued on. So I just randomly picked one. Turned out to be mandolin number 9. This is the part in the construction phase where I like to clean the back up and get it sanded down to about 100 grit if I can. I start with scrapers. And then graduate to sandpaper, and sometimes you use a chisel or two or a gouge or two here to get the final shape around the scroll. But basically we want to clean it all up and make it look pretty. And in this shot, the same mandolin, the truss rod has been installed, and we are now gluing the fretboard extender. After that's cleaned up and leveled and the little wings are carved down, then it's time to glue on the fretboard, and we do that in my handy dandy little fretboard clamp and gluing jig. And so now number 9 has had its fretboard glued on, and it'll be ready to come out of that jig on Monday morning. Hey, we'd love to see you come back next week and catch up with us again when we have the next week's edition of the RATLIFF Mandolins weekly production diary. And we'll look forward to seeing you then.